All right, let's go ahead and go over this stats quiz number 2. And that was taken on September 11th, 2020, Friday. Question number 1, click and drag the data sets below into the appropriate rows in the table. So this first data here in this white box, you could give it a graph. So I'm going to put a scale here, 0 to 100. That's just, a typical scale. And I'm just going to put a dot plot to create this distribution, this graph. Super rough sketch. And you'll notice all those dots there on the left and just one dot on the far right. And over our data, you draw those like a curve to it. And you're going to notice that all the data is to the left and no data to the right. Let's try the second one over here. Same thing. Draw yourself a quick dot plot. Notice that 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. And all that data kind of looks symmetrical there. And over here, 15, 75, 85, 95, 105, 115. These are check marks, super helpful. You'll notice that 15 looks kind of odd, unusual. And as I draw your data, all your data is to the right. So you can, I'm going to try to cut and paste these and place them. So all your data there is to the left and there's nothing to the right. The tail's to the right, so this would be skewed right. On this graph, again, all the data is in that one place, so it looks very symmetrical. There is your median and mean. So your answer would be symmetrical or approximately normal. And there's only one outlier there, so your data is skewed to the left. The tail is going towards the left. You're skiing to the left. Let's see if I can copy and paste these. Let's go ahead and drag it over here. And let's try to copy and paste that one. Drag it over here. And let's get the last one. There we go. And of course, your options were more the numbers. So just quickly here, just write out all the numbers. Notice all those numbers are around the same. Right, they're all below 70. Skewed left. You'll notice that 15 is on the far left. It's on the far left of the number line. And skewed right. Notice all of my data is 15, 75, 85, 95, 105, 115. 15, 25, 35, 45, 55. All that data is mostly to the left, and then 115 to the far right. Question number 2, I decided to, big shout out to Patrick, second period, for catching this. if you look on this histogram, and if you look at the classes or bins, they're labeled at the bottom here. Let me circle them. That goes here, that one goes here. But it should have been 11 to 12 in the next one. They kind of tricked you, so I decided to throw out this question. So a little bit confusing. So I'm just going to start counting these and create a really quick frequency or just count. So I think of it as 925, 925, 975. That goes there in this bin. 1025, 1075, 1075 goes here in the second bin between the $10 and $11. Now, if it was between $11 and $12 there, you have 4. And then between $12 and $13, not including 13, you have 6 there. And then in the far right one, you have 3. Then the problem was asked for you to just adjust the bars. This would have been the real answer, but again, I had to just delete the problem. The partial credit was just too difficult. So that would have been the correct answer, but not counted. And I believe that problem's out of 2 points. All right, question number 3. The accompanying stem and leaf plot represents Ben's test scores this year. Remember, there the key tells you 7 bar 2, that is a stem, then the leaf, the stem is the 10s, the 70s, and the leaf is the 2, so that would be 72. Now the stem here represents 10, so 6 times 10 is 60, 7 times 10 is 70, 8 times 10 is 80, 9 times 10 is 90, and then this leaves, that's the 5, so that would be the ones place, that's 65, 68. But you can just do this trick. Here's one way of doing the problem. You can just count out all of these numbers. 13, 14, 15, and 16. So your data set is even. If it's even, that means we need to find the data between the 8th and the 9th. So notice here there are 8 numbers above and 8 numbers below. Use green here to, not green, purple. Those are 8 numbers there and 8 numbers above. So we need the average between the 8th and 9th numbers. So that would be 79 plus 81. And if you add those together, you will get 160 divided by 2, which is 80. 80 is the median score. C is your correct answer. Now you can, that question was out at 1 point. Now you can do this problem in a different way. You can actually list out all the numbers: 65, 68, 72, 73, 73, 73, 79, 81, 83, and so on. So all my numbers. Then you can just find the median right there. And notice it's not an odd number. So I just need to find the average of those two numbers, which we just did, which is 80 is our correct answer. Let's try question number 4. Company created a video game, Leaders, where users can lose points, make points, lose points for making decisions as the leader of an imaginary country. I want to underline this fact. There are 30 female users. So n equals 30 just means there are 30 females. That's how many dots there are. And there are 25 male users. N equals 25. So each dot represents a male. So I don't need to really count all those dots. We're selected at random from a database of people who play the game regularly, a dot plot of the female scores in graph A, and dot plot of the male scores in B. So here are the measures of the center for each dot plot. So they give us some data here. They've already done some work for us. Now you could list out what the dots mean, right? That's 10, 20, 20, 20, but they've already given us information here. They've already given us the mean score, which is 54.7, and females median, and then they've also given us the male means and medians. But remember, they've given us a visual too. So we can kind of draw over our graphs. Looking at the graphs for our females. Now remember that chart we did, we talked about, is it symmetrical? And yes, if it is symmetrical, then that we should use the mean, because the mean and the median are the same. But if it's not symmetrical, then no, use the median, because the median is resistant to that outlier, pulling it away. So, is this A graph here symmetrical? And the answer is no. So females, we should use the median is the correct answer here. And for the males, does it look symmetrical? It does. Now, don't think of it just because it lies right in the middle of the graph. It's just that the graph, you can fold it in half. Again, this is symmetrical or normal. So, yes, it is symmetrical. So the best measure of center is the mean. Mean is the correct answer for males. And another way of looking at it is, in the males, you'll notice that the mean and median scores are pretty much the same. And when that's the case, that means it's a normal or symmetrical. And here's the reason why. There's a measure of center, and if the mean and the median are near the same, then it's symmetrical as a visual. But what does that look like for something that's not symmetrical, asymmetrical? See if we can zoom in here. If you notice that the mean and median are different numbers. So most of our data there is to the right. X bar, that is the average of the mean. It is not resistant. It is easily influenced and pulled by that outlier there in the orange dot. So the mean and the median, here's the median and this blue line, M, capital M for median, they're not the same number. They're off quite a bit, and you see that there in the orange box. Okay, number 5, label each histogram with the appropriate label. Remember, these are histograms, they are touching. And if you draw on your distributions, curves above them, it doesn't look skewed. It looks kind of like two normal distributions, or we can say that there are kind of like two peaks of a mountain, tops of the mountain. 1, 2. 2 means by. So the answer would be bimodal. Let's go down to this problem down here. Okay, if you draw your curve above the buildings, looks like you kind of have two bumps there. You could put bimodal, but this one is kind of more obvious. There's more data to the left and there's no data to the right. The tail over here to the right, you're going skiing going to the right. This would be skewed right. Remember, the tail or skiing would go in that direction. And this one over here, same thing. Can you kind of fold it in half like a taco? And it's pretty much the same, right? You're folding it in half, and so this would be symmetrical or approximately symmetrical or approximately normal. That was on 3 points. Previous problem, that one was out of 2. Oops, I did not see the choices down here. So let's go ahead and label these. This first graph here is called A, answer bimodal. Double check. And that graph there is B, and then C. Normal and skewed right. There we go. There's the answers. Question number 6. Match the terms with the values using this set of data. What do you do with your data? How do you organize it? You can put it from least to greatest. Ascending order. So let's go ahead and do that. Putting check marks here just in case I get a bunch of numbers. Now there are 6 numbers here in my list, so n equals 6. And therefore 3 to the left, 3 to the right. My line right here is the median. That means I have to take the average of these 2 numbers. And that's going to give me the median. So the average of the third and fourth number, 65 divided by 2 is 32.5. The median is 32.5. Ding. All right, change colors. The mean, or also called X bar, or an easy word is the average, is the summation, the backwards Greek letter E, call it sigma, summation of all of those numbers divided by a number in your list. So 46, 72, 15, 72, and 19, and 10, all over 6. Let's see if I downloaded that calculator. I don't have the calculator here, so let me pull out my regular calculator. Your calculator is your good friend. It never disappoints. Reliable. Always there for you. Take care of your calculator. Alright, so I punched in all these numbers here. Let's get a sum. And the calculator says 234 divided by 6, which gives me an average X bar of 39. Ta-da! Let's do the mode. Mode means most. What number appears the most? That is 72. And by process elimination, 62 is the range. But let's write a formula. Maximum minus the minimum. Biggest minus the smallest is my minimum. 72 minus 10 gives me 62. 62 is the range. And that question was out of 4 points. 1 point. Correct answer for each one. Hopefully these corrections were helpful for you guys.
Love math.
See ya.
You don't love math? What's wrong with you?